One thing we found down the Flora Peninsula and on Kangaroo Island as well, it seems, is that they're not a big fan of tarmac roads. We missed the first turn off because
there's a kangaroo!
Kangaroo! Where?
Down there. Keep going, at the bottom of the road.
Oh yeah! Boing,
boing. Woo! First kangaroo sighting on Kangaroo Island. Watch these right now.
Run! Jump, jump, jump! Go, 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 go!
So we've just arrived onto the ferry, and apparently this is the most expensive ferry in the world. It takes about 45 minutes to get there, and it cost us just under $400 return.
With the van.
Yeah, with the van, but still pretty expensive. But I think it'll be worth it when we actually get there.
Perfect setup, right by the window. Alright, so we're all settled in, just about to take off. What time is it just now? The sun's going to rise in
10 to 6.
About 40 minutes. It's about 40 minutes, so it's a 45-minute ferry. We might just, if it leaves in the next 10 minutes, it will just be rising when we arrive. And then we just still need to figure out what our first stop is. That's Gemma's job just now.
I've made a start.
So we're going to settle in and do some work.
So hard to fade away.
Alright, let's get going. Quite pretty, just a bit.
Just a little bit. But we're downloading the maps because we're not really sure how good the signal is going to be over there.
That rumble means it's time to go. Kangaroo. Disappointed. I've been on Kangaroo Island for about 2 minutes and I've still not seen a kangaroo. Ridiculous.
Interesting fact. Apparently on Kangaroo Island there are 13 kangaroos for every one person on the island. So there's 60,000 kangaroos on Kangaroo Island and 4,500 people that live here. One thing we really want to see while we're here is a wild koala. So we'll hopefully come across some wild koalas while we're on Kangaroo Island.
So one thing we found down the Flora Peninsula and on Kangaroo Island as well, it seems, is that they're not a big fan of tarmac roads. We missed the first turn off because
there's a kangaroo!
Kangaroo! Where? Oh yeah!
Woo! First kangaroo sighting on Kangaroo Island.
Hello!
Oh, there they are. Oh,
I love kangaroos.
I love kangaroos.
They're the funniest creatures in the world.
They're amazing.
Like, why? Run! Jump, jump, jump! Go, 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 go!
So if you're visiting Antechamber Beach just for the day, then lucky for us, it's free.
Yeah.
You only have to pay for a permit if you're camping here, which is $15 for a vehicle of up to 8 people, which is pretty
It's actually
decent.
pretty decent since the campsites are mostly all about $40.
Yeah.
So anyway, our first stop is at the Antechamber Bay, which is right on the eastern coast of the island. Now you said that this is, according to the locals, this is one of the most beautiful beaches in the island, simply because when people come to Kangaroo Island, they just pile on straight into the centre of it and they don't actually stop at these places. So it's one of the most remote and untouched beaches for visitors to Kangaroo Island. So the next spot we've come down to is the lighthouse. Kate Willoughby Lighthouse. And what did you say was this oldest?
This is the first lighthouse that was built in South Australia.
pretty old. It was built about 5 years ago, which is old in terms for Australia now. 19th century, so about 100 to 200 years ago, which is ancient for Australia. But we're going to go, and it's really windy outside, that's why we're still hiding in the van.
Enjoying the sea view.
I know, exactly, that's where we're kidding ourselves. The sun's warm through the window, but as soon as we go outside it's freezing.
Sounds very windy. So at Cape Willoughby Lighthouse you can also do some tours. So there's a history tour, and also you can climb up the lighthouse. Now these are on throughout the week. The history tour starts at 11 o'clock, second tour is at 2 o'clock, and in like peak season there's another one at 3 o'clock. The lighthouse climb is on throughout the week, 12:15 and 12:45, and then it's on again at 4 o'clock during peak season. So we're too early. It's just 9 o'clock now, so we're too early for either of those. But we've got a nice view, so we can't really complain. Campbell's got his coffee going. Happy as Larry.
Happy, always happy with a coffee. One thing we have actually realised about not only the Kangaroo Island but also the Fleur Peninsula, we were having real trouble last night trying to find water along the southern coast of the Fleur Peninsula. I even stopped in at a petrol station and they said that you could only buy water. I'm pretty sure she was just wanting me to buy water from her, because she said because they're so short on water down in this region, they actually have to buy water, and every toilet you go to it says no drinking water, blah blah blah.
Also, when you get further south from Victor Harbour and Aldinga Bay, petrol stations are really few and far between, so make sure you download Petrol Spy, which
Yep, we use an app called Petrol Spy. It's really good.
Tells us where the cheapest petrol stations are.
We carry a 20 litre jerry can. I would recommend trying to get two. It'll save you a lot of money on fuel because it's about 20 to 30 cents more expensive the further south you go. So top up north and then bring it down with you. So we're parked up at Brown Beach, cooking up some lunch. We had a cheese toastie as usual, and we're cooking tonight's dinner as well. We're making a wee stir fry. Pitched up, view of the sea behind us, perfect setting. We're watching a rugby on the iPad. Gemma shouts out, "What's that in the water over there?" We look through, and there you go, there's a fin, just one fin going along. I'm like, oh my god, grab the camera, run over. Turns out there's two dolphins swimming by in the bay. So, like maybe 30 metres offshore, so close. If you were in the water, we would have been in swimming with them. Just as we did that, Gemma's down there shooting these, shooting the dolphins. I turn round, go back to the van, and there's a big bloody lizard, probably about a metre long, just walking past the van.
Meanwhile, we've got a cheeky seagull down here.
And this seagull over here is like
jumped in our frying pan, eating all the crumbs. We've got dinner. We turned it all off as we quickly ran out. Got Pepper's sitting there, and he's eyeing them up.
I know.
Back over again.
He sees that we're distracted, and he's trying to steal our leftovers for lunch. Go away. So we've been staring at the sea for far too long now. Just had lunch, and the sea's just taunting us. It's picked up the wind a little bit, so it's getting a little bit chilly, but we've not been in the sea in how long, Jim? A long time. I don't know how long. Since we're in Bali, actually, in Indonesia, so that's probably about 4 or 5 months ago now, and yeah, we're desperate to get back in, so we'll see how deep we get. Maybe we can have a wash, maybe I'll just skip across the water like a skipping stone, who knows, or we're going to go and get in the sea. We got our brand new cheapest chip shoes on, which just makes such a difference. In Bali we couldn't go in anywhere, it took us about 3 hours to do so. Coming to get you. So we're driving along, we're just going to go to our campground for the night. Well, of course we came across this sign saying Prospect Hills, and how could you say no to something like that? But we're just pulling up to the car park, And that is the stairs that we're going to be climbing up to get to the top.
Yay!
Maybe I don't want to go. Well, you should see Roxy.
Oh, she is.
Not being stolen.
Always good to know. She is down there. Oh, we left the door open for a second.
You'd be going down to get
I know.
Summited. So we finally arrived at our campsite for the night after what seemed like a lifetime along this incredibly bumpy road. And we don't have a four-wheel drive. Roxy's an old van, and I was just every single bump I was just like, oh my god, this suspension is going to explode. But we made it. We're going to need to leave about 4 hours early for tomorrow morning because it's going to take us that long to get back up there. But this is our view right from our van door. Doesn't get much better than that.
Devotion